Hi, this is Les Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. Well, it looks like we may have baseball again, except for one thing. It doesn't actually look like baseball anymore. In the last couple of years, we've had people who decide they know how to run the game, they know what we want, and they know how to fix it. They've given us relief pitchers who must face at least 3 hitters in an inning. They must point to first base to intentionally walk a batter. And now comes the granddaddy of them all, putting an automatic runner on second base at the beginning of any extra inning. I think they need excitement for the new fans, and I think they'll have it to make up for the ones like me that they're going to lose. Bud Shaw is with us. More Sports and Les Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les Levine, it's a Tuesday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les Levine into its 24th consecutive year, soon to be 25, and seen now exclusively powered by cleveland.com. Bud Shaw is powered by Bud Shaw, and he's with us tonight as he normally is on Tuesday nights. Hello, Bud.
Les, how are you?
Well, I'm not good. If it's not official yet, but I didn't want this baseball thing to come down the way it did. There's just a bad taste in everybody's mouth, and a pox on all of their houses, whatever that means.
Yeah, hey, even Trevor Bauer, who's I think been on the obviously on the side of the Players Association, in some of his comments prior to this, I think acknowledged within the last couple of days that this whole thing was a disaster for the game, and they're eventually going to impose the 60-game season, which I know some people feel is way too short to really be a good reflection of best teams this year and solid competition, legitimate competition. But you can tell how frustrated he was, that they eventually ended up with 60 games anyway, and basically what they got out of it was the right to file a grievance at some point.
Sure. And the other thing is, you talk about 60 games here. 3 weeks ago, they could have made the same deal, I would think, or something similar. They could have been playing the game. And you're going to do it again next year and go through this whole thing again. Would it, as a baseball fan, would you just as soon see they shut it down and forget this season and go make a new deal for next season? Or do they think that would come down to the last second anyway?
Yeah, I just think that would probably come down to the last second, and I think there'd be so much animosity. It's hard to imagine that there could be more than there is now, but you shut down a season, I just think you'd put both sides in a really contrarian position going into what should be a collective bargaining agreement that settles the sport for the next 10 years, you would hope.
Right.
So I think it's important that they play something this year. I think maybe when we get into this, Les, and we get caught up in the actual games that are being played and the talents of the players playing them, that maybe we forget some of this stuff and are happy that they at least got back on the field.
Knowing what we know about the Indians organization, let's put them into this. If you're going to make up a season like this, they actually are in pretty good shape because they got plenty of offense and they have great starting. Well, you think they have excellent starting pitching. So that being said, they should be in a pretty good position. But I can't believe I'm going from just hearing the news of what we're expecting to proclaiming that the Cleveland Indians will be your next champion. Let me just throw this out about a 60-game season. If you had a 60-game season last year, the Washington Nationals, who won it all, would not have qualified for the postseason at the 60-game mark.
Yeah, I'd like to call people's attention, if they're on Twitter, to check out something that Kevin Kleps from Cranes tweeted earlier today. I found it really interesting. It basically went through the Terry Francona tenure as Indians manager, and it took a look at the first 60 games of every year. And you could probably guess, Les, what the trend was.
Well, the trend was they probably wouldn't have made it in 4 of the seasons.
Right, they have at least gotten off to very mediocre starts under him. I think there's something like 215 and 205 in those first 60 games under him. And then we know in the second half of the season they tend to get themselves together and have made some really nice runs at the end of the year.
I was in a conversation with Francona a couple of years ago, talking how he used the bullpen. He had a doubleheader, and he had a big lead in the first game, and he went and he put his closer in. I think it was Cody Allen at the time. And the second game, he was left with a not great closer. And I asked him about it, and he said, you can't just assume you can win games. If you have a chance to win a game, even if you're up 5 runs, you got to take it because you don't know what's going to happen in game two. And, that's probably why he's a manager and you and I are not.
Yeah, well, when I was still doing some stuff for Channel 3 before the pandemic, we interviewed him at Tribe Fest, and we talked to him about the rule about relief pitchers facing 3 batters, and he's obviously not in favor of that. If anybody knows, from watching him over the years, he goes to his bullpen often, and he like a lot of managers, lives for those matchups that he believes gives his team a better chance. So it's going to be a real adjustment for a lot of these guys now to not only deal with that, but deal with the shortness of the season and how they use their players.
And blown saves will hurt more than in previous years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really intrigued now to see. And listen, I don't know if I can speak for you, but the putting the runner on second base in extra innings, I know they did it in the minor leagues a few years ago, but it's always just struck me as very gimmicky, and I didn't like the idea. I guess if you could argue in favor of it this year, it's because it's such an oddball season to begin with.
If you're gonna try stuff, why not?
Yeah, maybe it doesn't hurt. Why not? Let's see how it goes.
All right, let's take a look at what we think we know is going to be announced somewhere along the line in the next couple of hours. The 2020 baseball season will look this way: 60-game schedule. Season would start around July 24th and run through September 27th. Universal DH. I don't know why that's such a problem. Just slide it in there. Runner on second base rule in extra innings. That'll mean at the top of the inning and the bottom of the evening. At the start of that inning, rather, they're going to put a runner on second base, nobody out, and see what happens. Well, I know what'll happen. Guy's going to bunt the ball over, then a fly ball, and essentially the game's over. If that's the bottom of the inning anyway. Players will receive full prorated salaries and 10-team postseason, 5 from each league. So that's how it starts out. That's what it's going to look like. We have no idea what it's going to mean, but I guess I agree if you're going to be gimmicky, now is the time to try it. I just don't know why it had to come down to this.
Yeah, I know in the minors a couple years ago when they were doing it, they're talking about it. The guy who would be on second base would be whoever made the last out in the ninth inning.
The ninth batter that will come up in that inning.
Right. So I guess if you have a guy who can handle the bat leading off the 10th, he's probably likely, what you said is true. He's probably likely to bunt the guy over and try to get a run in as soon as possible.
How can that be exciting?
I know, but if it's your cleanup hitter, you're probably not taking the bat out of his hand, I wouldn't, right? So there will be some strategy involved, but hey, listen, it's only 60 games this year. I mean, what's the big problem if some of those 60 games, it's already a short season. What's the problem if some of them go into extra innings? I mean, I don't understand the issue, actually. I think people, now that they have baseball back, wouldn't mind a couple extra innings on occasion.
I suppose that's correct. Let's turn our attention to basketball for a minute here. As Andre Drummond says he's going to pick up his option and stay with the Cavaliers. Well, why not? It's $28 million. You'd pick that up no matter where you had to play, wouldn't you, bud?
Yeah, listen, I think this is one of the reasons, and I don't know this for a fact because I haven't followed the NBA as closely as most writers do. But this is one of the reasons why the Pistons wanted to move him, because they were afraid he was going to pick up the option.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't like in some situations, like baseball mostly, you see guys moved like we talked about Francisco Lindor and his future. We see guys move because teams don't think the guy's going to sign.
Right.
Uh, in this case, they were afraid he was going to exercise the option, and that they'd be on the hook for 28 million for a guy that they didn't feel really fit their offense. So
Here's your contract offer. Here's your contract offer. Here's your contract offer. We would appreciate it if you don't really look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And for him, I mean, he's not going to get that kind of money anywhere else for a year. So I could see why, why he would want to do it. Now he has, I think, until October to make that official. He basically said that was his plan on a radio show today. Right. But he has until October to actually pull the string on that, and I think he will.
All right, Bud Shaw is here tonight. Andy Baskin will be here tomorrow. Mary Kay Cabot on Thursday. You know, the Ohio Lottery has paid out over $1 billion in winnings over the past 6 months. People are winning in record numbers, and winning is happening all around the state of Ohio. Play an Ohio Lottery game and play it today. Bud Shaw and I return in a moment. You can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/more sports and less Levine, with new content posted every day. It's very easy. We post a question in the morning. You answer it all day long. We read it at night. We do the show live from 6 until 7 p.m. exclusively on cleveland.com. We'll take a moment, come back in a moment. More sports and less Levine exclusively on cleveland.com.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions, or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Do you like Ohio State football? Would you like to get information from me, Doug Maurice, about Ohio State football without having to look at my face? We have got the plan for you. Become an Ohio State text subscriber through cleveland.com. You send a text, 614-350-3315. What do you get? 2, 3, 4 texts right in your phone every day about Ohio State football. Inside information, polls, voting, all kinds of things. You can be on our podcast. We take text subscriber questions on our Buckeye Talk podcast every week. If you really want to be involved with Ohio State football, in season or out of season, become an Ohio State text subscriber from cleveland.com. Send a text to 614-350-3315. 14-day free trial. What do you have to lose? $3.99 a month after that. 614-350-3315. I'll see you in your phone.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a 4-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
We haven't gotten a chance to talk to you since you kind of had your little, run in on the roadway with the police. So I'm just wondering, how have you overcome that, kind of put that behind you? Was that just kind of sort of like out of character for what you've been doing and going through since you've been here, I would imagine. And how is all that going now?
I would say that was like out of character, and I learned from it. I've been working to become a better person each and every day, and definitely not looking for anything like that to happen again. So I've been working. now I'm just focused on football, working out, and getting ready for the season. I'm blessed that the Browns gave me another opportunity. So yes, I'm lucky, to have another opportunity to play football. And you never know. I don't know. Honestly, it's just I'm just blessed to play the game. So I always feel lucky to play football. So I know any second it can be gone. So I think we can do something special here. I want to get that Super Bowl feeling, and I believe we can do it here in my hometown, and that would be bigger than anything for me. To bring a championship to Cleveland, especially our whole. I've been a fan my whole life. I've been with Cleveland my whole life.
And just a quick follow up on that. Would you like to get an extension? Would you like to kind of get wrapped up here long term so that you can be here to be part of something like that?
Yeah, no question. And I would definitely love to be a part of something like this. Everybody's here that I care about. I know everybody and the whole town. So I would not mind, playing for the Browns for a long time.
But how contrite did he sound?
Well, I don't know, Les. I just, given what we know of his background of the incidents that he's had in his past, I'm not ready to sign off and say that what happened on I-90 was out of character necessarily. He certainly has some issues to overcome, and I for one hope he does. But that's always going to be a little bit of a question when you think about a long-term deal for Kareem Hunt.
Knowing what knowing what you know, the facts and figures and things that have been said, do you, if you're in charge, do you sign him long term?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, until we know like how much that would cost, I just think in the salary cap era in the NFL, certain position groups are rated in need as from top to bottom, and you gotta make decisions on how much money you want to tie up in one position group. And I think running back is probably not that position group to pay both Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, and I would prefer Nick Chubb.
Until you see it on the field. If you see it on the field and it's something special, you may change your mind about that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was very effective when he was on the field last year. So there's a lot to be said for that. I know they're talking now about possibly using him as in a wide receiver capacity. I think he's a very good receiver coming out of the backfield at least. I still don't know that you're going to want to pay him and Chubb huge money at the same time. So if he has a good year, he'll probably increase his market value, and people around the league will come knocking on his door. But I would almost bet, if I had to, that he's probably not here for the long term.
And so this guy who used to bag groceries and then turned out to be a Hall of Fame quarterback, Kurt Warner, took
Yeah,
a
I've
look
heard of him.
as the bag boy, or as
Yeah, I heard he was a decent quarterback.
he was a decent bag boy too. He was asked about the tandems in the league, the receivers. He says, if I'm going to pick a tandem, I'm going to be back where I was with the Arizona Cardinals. I had Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden, and what I loved about that tandem is that they complemented each other and extremely well. So when I look at and know how I played it out, I look at the Cleveland Browns and say I like OBJ, I like Jarvis Landry, and when they put those two guys together on the same field at the same time, they complement each other very well. I know there's a lot of great tandems out there, but I'd love to play with those two guys. And he doesn't have to say that. He's not involved with the organization or anything. That's the kind of players he wanted to be with.
Yeah, and I understand perfectly what he's saying. I mean, they're not, guys with similar skills. One guy is a game-breaking, acrobat, and the other guy is the sure thing. And I keep going back to what I saw last year when Baker Mayfield was chased out of the pocket more than Browns fans would have liked him to be. Invariably, the guy who came back and found his spot along the sidelines or wherever it was to give him a target was Jarvis Landry. So OBJ has, obviously, incredible talent, and if he's healthy, that's a pretty intriguing tandem.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Email us during the show at reallesslevine@gmail.com. Northeast Factory Direct, they are to be found east, west, and south, as well as the website northeastfactorydirect.com with the guaranteed lowest price available on any item. Check it out at Northeast Factory Direct. We're going to come back in a moment. Christopher Knox suggests that Olivier Vernon should be a trade option. We'll check on that, and if there's any more baseball to check on, more Sports and Les Levine continues with Bud Shaw exclusively on cleveland.com.
Celebrate NatureStone's 30-year anniversary with a free NatureStone floor. During 2020, we will be giving away 30 free floors to 30 very lucky customers to say thank you for making NatureStone the best concrete flooring solution for garages, basements, and more. Call or visit naturestone.com today to register to win, and we'll send you a copy of our new buyer's guide absolutely free. There's no purchase necessary. Winners will be chosen monthly. With over 30 million square feet installed for more than 60,000 customers, it's easy to see why I always say it's not just a floor. Wow, it's NatureStone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Time for a How Come Quickie. We dip into the archives for an all-timer. How come deer know where to cross? I have no idea, but they do. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Bud Shaw is with us. Bud, MLBPA, the Major League Baseball Players Association, has reported that they've agreed to a 60-game season starting with the training camp on July 1st. So that's the first thing we hear official, semi-official.
Yeah, everything I read today last pointed to there being an agreement that they were just ironing out some of the safety precautions that are going to be in play. So like I say, I think it's some of the animosity that fans are even feeling toward both sides will hopefully go away, or at least dissipate a little bit during the season once they get back on the field.
Well, it's going to be pretty weird seeing no fans in the stands. The Indians, by the way, and I don't know if this changes based on today and what goes on with the season getting ready to start. Indians laid off 60 people, not full-time people, but still 50 people, and that hurts.
Yeah, I mean, I think these were folks who had been furloughed and now this is the next almost inevitable step. It's sad to see.
Well, and I'll tell you what, knowing what I know about Paul Dolan, he's not happy he had to do that, but you can obviously see why. No question about that. Christopher Knox works with the Bleacher Report. He says the Browns ought to trade use Olivier Vernon as a trade option for the Browns. Should the Browns consider moving him to make more room for Jadeveon Clowney and Griffin? What do you think?
Well, again, I want to know what they're going to do in his place. If you're telling me that they're bringing in Jadeveon Clowney, then I think it makes some sense. I still think there's some value to having him for a year and not getting into a long-term contract with another defensive end, because we know what's going to be required to pay Myles Garrett. and he's probably going to be, for however long it lasts, the highest paid defensive end in football, or maybe the highest paid non-quarterback in football. So I think they have some time yet. Maybe as they get closer to the season, they'll be able to figure out an agreement with him where he agrees to take less money for another year or something like that. But I understand why they're keeping him right now, and I don't think it's such a bad thing. I think a lot of what we saw last year with him was injury related, and I think he's still a pretty good player.
You can explore your interests, find a program that puts you on the right track to a bright future at Tri-C. Tri-C offers more than 1,000 courses and over 140 career and educational technical programs. Go to tri-c.edu for more information. 216-575-0403 is our number. Bud Shaw with us tomorrow night. We've got Andy Baskin from 92.3 The Fan. Then on Thursday night it'll be Mary Kay Cabot. We'll take a break. We'll come back in a moment. More sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a four-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
Well, hello everyone. Let me tell you a little bit about Brown's Football Insider. For only $3.99 a month, you can get texts sent right to your phone each day from me, Dan Lobby, Scott Pasco, and Ellis Williams. In addition to that, you'll receive a Football Insider newsletter every day with special things from us, things that you won't see anywhere else on the site. You'll get breaking news, analysis, features, film breakdown, and things like that. Texting us directly gives you a great chance to cut through the clutter of Facebook, Twitter, other social media, and avoid the trolls. Also, it's the only way to get your questions on the Orange and Brown Talk podcast. So why should you sign up? Try a 14-day free trial. You can cancel at any time. All it takes is one text, but you won't want to cancel. We have hundreds of subscribers join us over the last year. They love it and have stayed with us. We're seeing the Football Insider community grow every week. And it's only $3.99 a month, which is less than 14 cents a day. What I like most about Football Insider is the opportunity to connect with you one-on-one and really communicate with you. So how can you become a Football Insider? You can click on cleveland.com/Browns, the blue banner at the top of the page. Or easier yet, text me at 216-208-3965. Again, that's 216-208-3965.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at smiley1.com.
This date in sports history, the Cavs had a pretty good draft here in 2011, led to a title in 2016. They took Kyrie Irving and Tristan Thompson. Pretty good. Hey, Bud, I don't know how you handicap any of these teams and playoffs and everything, but I'm thinking of the LeBron James and the Lakers now. How do you make anybody a favorite when they've been off for so long, haven't played, and home court doesn't mean a thing? How do you factor that in?
It's a great question, especially given the fact that we're very likely to see some positive coronavirus testing. It's already happened on the PGA Tour, Les, with Nick Watney, and then a young player named Cameron Champ today, who had to withdraw from the Travelers. So, I mean, we know that when these guys start getting back together again, that we're gonna be dealing with some of this, and what we don't know is the severity, whether they'll be asymptomatic, and what the kind of spread will be. But all it would take is losing a
A key guy.
A star player for
Yeah.
a 2-week quarantine, and that I don't know how Vegas is going to handle this.
I don't either. Well, they usually find a way to do that.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
check out birthdays for today, see who's celebrating. Art Modell is not celebrating, but he was born on this date. And Tom Haller, as well as, if I'm correct, he was an umpire and his brother was a catcher. Do I have the right guy, Bud?
Yeah, I believe so. Yep.
Yeah. Wilma Rudolph, TaylorMade, LaDainian Tomlinson, and Tim Anderson. Pretty good day for birthdays, 23rd of June. 216-575-0403. We're talking a lot of football here, but if you want to get your comments in about the baseball, we're more than happy to take your call on that. Pete Smith from Sports Illustrated thinks that Jamal Adams is a good fit for the Cleveland Browns. He said they should be interested in Adams because he's a prototype safety, and in the scheme that they're installing under defensive coordinator Joe Woods, he has the ability to play strong, operate at linebacker, and be effective in coverage. Pairing him with second-round pick Grant Delpit would give them an impressive tandem of LSU Tigers to install on the back end of their defense, adding another superstar to the defense. Do you think they still need that position to be covered?
Yeah, I don't think it's a strength. I certainly don't pretend to know what it would cost to get a guy like Jamal Adams. I still think this team is, I don't want to say it's a development stage because it's not. All right, there we go. Reports indicate a trade would cost a first and a third-round pick. That seems pretty steep to me. Again, because of the position he plays, not because of the talent of the player. So I don't know. If you could get him for a second and a third or somewhere there where you're not giving up a first-round pick, I think that might be something that they would look into.
Yeah, he's only 20 or 3 NFL seasons, only 24 years old. Looks like somebody they might want. Does the lack be? We've been talking about Jadeveon Clowney for several weeks right now, and a couple of other guys. Do you think nothing has happened because they don't want it to happen, or they're waiting for the exact right move, or they are confused as to what they're looking for right now? Or do you think they have their minds made up?
Yeah, I don't think they're confused as much as I think the players are still, I should say Clowney in particular is still holding out for something, bigger and better. And if I'm the Browns, I'm not giving him a multi-year deal when I have the Myles Garrett contract to negotiate. So I understand why they have interest in him on a 1-year deal. I just think that he's probably thinking that he's worth more than that, at least in length of contract.
Right. Last night we had Chris Fedor on the show, and also it was the 4th anniversary of the parade in downtown Cleveland. And it's interesting because it's a day or two after they win the title, and you got Kyrie and LeBron saying all the right things, how everything is beautiful and all that stuff. I don't know, maybe it was beautiful at that time, or a day or two after they got back from Golden State. But things have changed to the point where now you've got LeBron is at LA and Kyrie is doing whatever he's doing in Brooklyn. And it's just interesting how fast these things change, or at least your perception of what happened changed.
Yeah, I always felt that while there were obviously huge benefits to playing with LeBron, as a guy who makes everybody on the court better, I do think it's been challenging at times for some of his teammates. I think Kevin Love would probably admit that too. So I wasn't too surprised. I should say this. I wasn't shocked that Kyrie Irving wanted to get out from under that shadow, because I know what he thinks of himself and his potential. I was surprised, I guess, so soon after winning a championship that he felt that way. Maybe he knew that LeBron wasn't going to be long for Cleveland. We don't know that for a fact, but he's certainly privy to more inside information and than any of us were. So I know some people still hold it against, and I think Kyrie he's really an oddball, obviously, in not just the flat Earth stuff, but just in the way he deals with teammates and some of the things that he's come out and talked about. But he was a tremendous player, and if he, I don't know where you would rate the block versus the shot in that final game, but I think the shot was the biggest play maybe in Cavaliers history.
Yeah, no question about that. I asked Chris Theodore last night, do you put Kyrie Irving in the rafters at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, or do you wait a while, or do you not do it at all? He immediately said it's a no-brainer that he goes up there.
Yeah, I think I've seen Chris tweet about that before, and he's made a pretty compelling case. I mean, we're talking about a championship in the first one in this city in a half a century. And if you remember, I know a lot of people rewatched that game the other night because of the anniversary. And I mean, both those teams, including LeBron, offensively, seemed shot in that game as it was going down the stretch. I forget what the shooting percentage was, but it really was very poor for both teams, and you could just see the fatigue setting in. And the fact that Kyrie Irving didn't defer to LeBron and took the shot that he shot and made it is, it's an iconic moment. So as strange as he could be sometimes, and I know some people still hold it against him for leaving, but they don't win a championship without him.
No, they don't. I think the stat you're looking for is in the last 5 minutes, Golden State did not have a field goal, and I think they only had one foul shot.
Even the Cavs were something like 1 for 11 at one point in that game. So.
Kyrie's three-pointer, I believe it was the last shot they took, so they didn't. That was with 54 seconds left, so they didn't score in that last half minute either. You're absolutely right. They were wiped out. Both sides were wiped out, and it came out the right way as far as the Cleveland Cavaliers are concerned. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. More sports and less Levine with Bud Shaw. Continuing, Bud, you've been with me, I believe, 20-some years, and you have not noticed a major change. I'm going to give you this break to see the major change that we've made. You see if you can come up with it. We'll do that. We'll do that when we get back. More sports and less Levine continues. Northeast Factory Direct. They've got 3 locations, plus the great website, northeastfactorydirect.com. Check it out, West 140th Street, Lakeland Boulevard, Macedonia is the one to the south, all from Northeast Factory Direct. Sokolowski's University Inn. I'll ask you to, I'm not trying to con you on anything here. Just keep checking the website and look for an announcement of what Mike and Bernie Sokolowski are going to do with Sokolowski's University Inn, the only restaurant in the city that has ever won the James Beard Foundation Award, and they were established some 95 years ago. Unbelievable. We'll come back in a moment. Bud Shaw with us. Tomorrow night, Andy Baskin. Thursday night, it'll be Mary Kay Cabot. More sports and less Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Your home is your most important investment, and your basement is the go-to part of your home. It's your children's rec room. It's where your family and friends spend time together. It's much more than just a basement. Now is the perfect time to add beauty and value to your home with an authentic NatureStone basement floor. And every NatureStone floor comes with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty. For a limited time, get our exclusive mini pearl stone for as low as $2.99 a square foot, plus installation. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's NatureStone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Let's take a look at this date in Les Levine history, June 23rd, 2018. Les thinks that Tristan Thompson deserves to double his salary from the Cavaliers, one contract for the right-handed shooter and one for the left. Is that a good idea? Maybe not.
Well, I think both should take a pay cut for the fact that he's not a very good shooter from either side.
That is true. All right.
But a great.
Have you come up with anything here as might be different on more sports than Les Levine?
Well, I think you're still parting your hair on the same side.
That's correct.
I've never seen you.
Although, wait a minute, I got to tell you something. When I went to get my first haircut from Tommy, who's cut my hair for 38 years, he started cutting on the wrong side.
Huh.
But we cured that.
So was he looking in a mirror and got confused? Or
I don't know what he was thinking.
I don't think I've ever seen you wear a gray sport coat. Is that it?
No, it's not it. Do you like it, though?
I do.
Okay. Should we widen it, Brian? Should we widen the shot, maybe? And
oh, it's not about you in particular. It's
more sports than Les Levine.
Huh.
So you've been with me at least 20 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on the different side of the desk.
Can I see that again? Yes, you are.
What?
Why are you there?
Well, I know why we moved in the first place, because we didn't have a clock on that side of the room. Why, Brian, why are we here? We changed this about 3 weeks ago.
Huh.
But whatever. All right.
Well, that's usually where I sit, so I'm taking that as a hint that I will not be welcome back.
You have no idea how badly I want everybody back here. No idea. And by the way, let me put this plug in. I mentioned it to Mary Kay Cabot the other night, and she said something about being glad to be part of the show. And I just said that we have the best bench strength of any show like this. Well, there isn't any show like this, but you and everybody else, the D-Man, and it's been terrific. All of you people who've been part of the show, we appreciate it very much.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Les. Thanks.
216-575-0403 is the number. And by the way, this wasn't moved for any political reasons, right or left. This was not.
Oh, okay. That's good to know then, because you're right down the middle, moderate. I know that.
Yes, I am. Remind me to tell you who thought I was on the other side of the coin. All right, let's stop. Let's talk important stuff like sports here. We had a Facebook question. Well, we have a Facebook question of the day. It says, do you remember this, Bud? Who was your first modeled baseball glove? You remember?
I have it.
What is it?
I actually have it.
You brought it with you?
I have it. It's up on my desk. Can you see the name?
No.
Mickey Mantle.
Wow.
It's a Mickey Mantle glove. Rawlings.
Oh, what you should have gotten was his rookie card instead.
That's how big it is. It reminds me of the size glove that Omar Vizquel would use.
Tell me how old were you when you got it?
Oh God, I can't even remember. Probably 7 or. I was the bat boy for my older brother's little league team for a while, and then I started playing from the time I could play.
Did they ever ask you to get the left-handed bat?
No, they never did.
Or the key to the batting cage?
I would have fallen for it if they did, though.
I had a Mickey Mantle bat, 31 inches, best bat ever invented.
Yeah, I was fortunate in that my older brother took me everywhere he went. So even though I was, almost 5 years younger than him, I was playing against older kids all the time at his insistence. And he also happened to be one of the tougher guys in the neighborhood, so nobody said no to him when he told him I had to play.
He was a tough guy. Was he a good player?
He was a better football player than a baseball player, but yeah.
All right, so we asked who the model of your first baseball glove. Kevin Pyle said, I got my first baseball glove way back in 1956. I know it was a Rawlings glove. I don't remember if I had a signature on it or not. Ted Moon
Yeah,
says,
that's what this is.
yeah. Ted Moon says, I was 7. My parents brought me a Brooks Robinson Rawlings XPG model, I believe, even though I played second base with Robinson playing third. I slept with that thing and with a ball in it for months. But did you go to the rubber band thing or string to wind around your glove?
Yeah, I did the, oil it, put the ball in, and
yeah.
put rubber bands around it.
Excellent. Andy Mees says a Wilson glove autographed by Greg Maddux in 1995 when I started playing in coach's pitch. I idolized Maddux and the Atlanta pitching staff back then, and they beat the Indians in the 95 World Series, although they had some help from the umpire. Larry Pantages, I can't remember the brand or the autograph, but I do remember it cost $5, and we bought it at Giant Tiger, sponsor of the Gene Carroll Show. Wow, on Channel 5 on Sundays. Then we had a little league players and discovered eBay. I bought used gloves with the names of Bill Freehand, Steve Garvey, and I had to explain who they were. Tim Gebhardt says a McGregor Freddie Hatfield glove. I'm pretty old. I must have gone through a dozen gloves during my playing days, mostly softball in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. Aaron Wood says a Rawlings baseball glove. I still have it today. And Glenn Berger, Stan the Man Musial, and I know Bill Russell from North Homestead will appreciate that. It was made by Rawlings. So there you have it. That, I'll tell you what, you wonder why older people are drawn to the game, and you wonder why we still love the game. And here's perfect examples. You guys have gloves from the 50s.
Yeah, and back then in the neighborhood I grew up in, everybody, we all got on our bikes and almost every day in the summer we rode to the park and had our bats and baseball glove and played. So it was just, I know it's corny, but it really was the pastime back then. And clearly it's not now. All you have to do is drive past Sandlot Fields, if you can even find them.
What great baseball cards did you use as spokes to your bike tires?
Yeah, that was another thing. We did. I tried to collect all the Phillies cards, and I had those somewhere in my attic at home. And when I went to college, my mom decided to clean everything out. So,
what do you think of Gene Mauch as a manager?
I'm not in favor.
Even to this day.
I was 10 years old that season and really into baseball and playing it and watching it. And, they had a 6.5 game lead with 10 to play.
Wow.
That's hard to lose, but they managed to do it.
Hey, you know what? Just like, this is unbelievable. Let's go to Bill in North Homestead. Bill, go ahead. Bill, are you there?
You always hit the great subjects, Les, and make me think about days that have gone by.
But you called too late. We got to get to quickies. Go ahead.
Well, all right. My first glove was a Gil McDougall. Got it in Little League and still used it when I played ball in college. Same glove. First bat, when I batted right-handed, I used a Nellie Fox model. I don't know if you guys remember what the model bat
had
looked like.
The big knob was on it.
Well, very thick handle, thick handle.
Yep.
And when I batted left-handed as a switch hitter, I used the Stan Musial bat.
All right, so you did ask for the left-handed hitting bat.
Yeah, I guess so when you think about it.
All right, Bill.
But,
Bill, you got to call earlier.
Well, okay, I'll get you earlier next time.
All right, good to talk to you. Thanks, you.
Hey, Bill.
Thank you. You have your Sharpie there?
I do.
Dig it up, because when we come back, we'll take a look. We'll take a listen and look
Does
at
it
some
look like a
quickies.
decent batch tonight?
I have not checked.
I don't want to get my hopes up.
I like the surprise of it. That like we're on the different side of the table. Like we have funny how come quickies. You can also use us as the voicemail of truth and reason. We of course do the show live from 6 until 7 p.m. Eastern time, but any other time of the day or night, call us up and leave us a message, and we'll take care of it on the next show. Let's take a break. We'll come on back one more time with Bud Shaw, more sports and Les Levine, and Bill from North Homestead, exclusively on cleveland.com.
Your home is your most important investment, and your garage is the entrance to your home. It's where your kids come in from school. It's where your family and friends gather together. It's much more than just a garage. Now is the perfect time to add beauty and value to your home with an authentic NatureStone garage floor. And every NatureStone floor comes with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty. For a limited time, get our exclusive gray brown blend stone for as low as $2.99 a square foot plus installation. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's NatureStone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
All right, tomorrow night, Andy Baskin, 92.3 The Fan, will join us. And you see us from 6 until 7 p.m. Eastern Time, exclusively on cleveland.com. It's the time of the day and the night that we truly look forward to, Bud. This is great.
Hey, Les, can I mention something first before you get started?
Well, how could I answer that other than, yeah, go ahead.
I just saw a tweet from Bob Nightingale, who's a really good baseball writer, and it was to your point about the Washington Nationals and a 60-game season. They were 19-31 after 50 games last year, and 27-33 after 60.
You think he was watching the? I admire him very much. You think he was actually watching the show?
I'm not sure, but he should have been if he wasn't. Right. But that just tells you
what's that number again? What's that?
They were 19-31 after 50 games, and then they turned it around. They went 8-2 to go 27-33, but they were still 6 games under 500 at the 60-game mark.
Wow! I got a couple of how come quickies. I got to admire Mr. Gullible. He tries and tries and tries. This isn't one where he's sneaking it by, but there's some hard work on this one. Ready?
Yep.
How come when 2 weirdly dressed strangers came to my door and insisted I needed to be saved, I told them, go somewhere else, you pesky fireman? Okay, that was my response. Way too long for a how come quickie. But
it was kind of long, but I didn't see it coming, so I'm going to give it a 7.0.
Okay, now this one you have to think a little bit. Mr. Gullible says, how come my boxer dog runs to a corner every time the doorbell rings? See, it's a boxer dog. It's not just any dog, it's a boxer. And when the bell rings, he runs to the corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
He picked the wrong night. He picked the wrong night to do that.
Again, would run to the center of the house. So I get it. I have 2 boxers,
right.
And I appreciate it for that reason, but still only a 5.0.
I'll tell you what, it's tough to get big numbers these days here. This from John Patrick. How come space heaters make a wonderful housewarming gift? Come on, how come?
7.5.
7.5 for this. So he's a winner for the night.
For the night so far, yeah.
No, so far. He's a winner for the night.
Again, I didn't see it coming. So I appreciate it for that reason.
So what do? You start with 0. If you don't see it coming, that's 1.5. And then if it's no pun, you add another 1. That's pretty much it.
If it said, how come deer know where to cross, then I would have seen that one coming because I've heard it once or twice before.
Over 24 years you've heard it. But also
but it is a classic.
It is a classic. And it is quick.
It's very quick.
How come
Hence
Deers know where to cross. 7 letters. Seven letters.
You should invite people to do How Come Quickies in as few words as possible and see what they come up with.
Okay, well, I'm going to divulge this. I've sort of hinted at this. I'm putting a book together.
You are? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because there's nothing else to do at 4 a.m. these days. So,
Is it a How Come Quickie book?
well, there's a major portion. The working title is "Give Me a How Come Quickie," so I guess I'd have to use it.
Yeah.
And it's the life and times of Les Levine in the broadcast business. It's a very short book.
Wow.
A very short book.
Are you writing this yourself?
Well, yeah. My
You don't
dog,
have
my dog can't type.
I mean, you don't have a sports writer friend that you would like to involve in this.
Oh, like you?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, let's talk about it, because right now I have enough quickies in there. I was thinking of like at the beginning of each chapter, throw in a quickie or two. But I was also thinking of the way it's going. It's looking for something like 19 or 20 chapters, and I'm at 2 right now.
Well, you still have the one that is perfect for your career, is a chapter on the number of places that you folded.
Yes, that's one of the chapters. I haven't actually put it down in writing to be the 3rd chapter, but I've got 2 chapters right where I want them, and then I've got several others. I just don't know if I'm going to use them all.
I've long considered writing a book myself, but I never know what to say after the first paragraph. And as somebody who's read a lot of books, I'm very intimidated by how well people write them. So I think I'll just pass.
Well, if you're going to help me, I guess I got to give you what I've got already down on paper. But I, of course, have my Jasper, Indiana story where I played baseball, and I got a semi-pro team, and I got a game-winning double. And the next day on the radio, the Jasper Reds defeated whoever 4-3, winning runs coming in the bottom of the 9th inning on a ringing double by Les Levine. This is Les Levine reporting. You never heard that?
Oh, yeah, I've heard it, but I like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can never hear it often enough.
You fill an hour a day, you'd put that in there too. You have a gem like that. All right, we'll have our people talk to your people.
All right.
I can guarantee lunch.
I'm assuming there'll be big money involved, right?
Depends on how much you have for lunch that day.
It's like a friend of mine, Mike McIntyre, was just named executive editor at WCPN.
Right.
And you know Mike.
Sure.
And somebody tweeted him and said, you really should consider hiring Bud as your sports guy. And Mike said, if he's willing to work for tote bags, there's a possibility here. So you got to at least come up with a tote bag.
I can beat that. My people can beat that price, no question about it. All right, we'll see you next Tuesday. And we'll see. And we may or may not change the setback, and you have to determine what we did or didn't do.
Okay.
All right. Great to see you as always.
There's something different every week that I have to guess what's different.
Where's Waldo? Absolutely.
Yeah, I like.
All right, that'll do it for us tomorrow night. Andy Baskin will be here in Mary Kay Cabot on Thursday. We'll see you then. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.